Perhaps you've been in church long enough to have heard someone say, "Don't ever pray for patience, because then God is just going to send you trouble." And perhaps you've wondered, where in the world does that concept come from? Well, I think it comes from some translations of James chapter 1 and verse 3, where, for example, the King James translates it, "Knowing that the trying of your faith worketh patience," or the New King James says, "Knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience." But I don't think that the type of patience that is being spoken of there is talking about that ability to put up with annoying things, like waiting in line, or children driving you crazy, or a coworker who's always getting on your nerves. I think if we read the context of that verse, we will get the idea that it's not talking about patience in terms of just the ability to wait better, but it's talking about endurance and steadfastness. And here's what it says, starting in verse 2. "Consider it all joy, my brethren, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance," or that word can also be translated steadfastness. "And let endurance have its perfect result, so that you may be perfect," and that word can also be translated mature and complete, lacking in nothing. And I think the Message gives us kind of a glimpse into the meaning, the author's meaning, when it says, "Consider it a sheer gift, friends, when tests and challenges come at you from all sides. You know that under pressure, your faith life is forced into the open and shows its true colors. So don't try to get out of anything prematurely. Let it do its work, so you may become mature and well-developed, not deficient in any way." When we go through trials, when we go through difficult times, and we cooperate with the work of the Holy Spirit in our lives during that time, the result will be a refining in us. The result will be a maturing in us. The result will be that we will find ourselves not deficient in the things that are necessary in the spiritual life. Not necessarily that we'll find it easier to sit in traffic, or we'll find it easier to wait in a line, or we'll find it easier to deal with somebody who's difficult. But that when we endure, when we go through those tests, and we don't try to get out of them, but rather cooperate with that process, knowing that God is in that process. He has not forgotten us. He is not otherwise occupied, but he will use that process to cause us to mature, to cause us to grow in Christ likeness. And then others will see that maturing of our faith. They will see Jesus in us, and hopefully we'll have the opportunity to point them to him.